good day. I'm Sehnegha Kasirajan and my matrix number is 202385 and this is my sister.
My name is Matika. I'm 10 years old.
Okay, so today as no one is at home, I have no choice but then to teach my 10-year-old sister about neuralation. Okay, so I'm going to teach you about neuralation. Okay, neuralation is something involved in fertilization. Okay, so let's give a briefing. Okay, so in reproduction, when the sperm, let's say you want a baby, you want a baby, right? You want to make baby, right? So the sperm and the ovum will fuse. So when the sperm and ovum fuses, it will become a zygote. Then from zygote, it will divide to become how we are today. It will divide to 2-cell stage, 8-cell stage, then divide in until it becomes a blastocyst and a trophoblast. So when it becomes the trophoblast, the outer layer is called the outer cell mass and the inner layer is called the inner cell mass. The inner cell mass is the embryoblast. The embryoblast will later become the bilaminar disc. So when that one all like divide, then they undergo some process. That bilaminar disc, right, it will become trilaminar disc. Bi means 2, trilaminar means 3, right? So it becomes 3 layers. So the 3 layer, the up one is epiblast. Then it will become 2 layers, epiblast and the hypoblast. Then only it becomes 3 layers. The 3 layers, the first one is ectoderm. Ectoderm. Then mesoderm. Then endoderm. So you want to remember it easy. It's called ecto, meso, endo. Endo. So you can write. Okay. So now we're going to see how this ectoderm, mesoderm and this endoderm on like day 15 after the sperm and ovum fertilize, they become a nervous system. You know nervous system, your head, your spinal cord, you see something you want to take, nervous system you got to learn, right, in standard 4. Okay. So we're going to see how from the small zygote, it's going to become a big nervous system with the brains on. Okay. So that process is called neuralation. Yes, neuralation. Okay. So in neuralation, between the ectoderm, I told you just now, the ectoderm and the endoderm, the mesoderm, in between the mesoderm is the notochord. The notochord will release growth factors. Growth means what? Grow. It grows, right? So it's the growth factors. So what this notochord will do, it will tell the ectodermal cell to stop proliferating. Proliferating means to stop dividing itself, to stop growing, So it will tell stop doing it. So when it stops doing it, that process is called ectodermal proliferation. Ectodermal proliferation. So on day 17, what will happen is neural plate will form above the ectoderm. Neural plate will form in the middle, then it will thick, it will become very, very thick, then it will go down like that. So it will be like a hollow space there. Then when it goes down, it's also the notochord still releases growth factor. So it will go down until it moves towards the notochord, the notochord here. Yeah. So it becomes like this, called neural folds. So when the neural fold, it will become like the magnet shape, magnet, the U-shaped magnet, like that. So the up to buchu, right, the buchu there we call neural crest cells. Neural crest cells. The crest cell, because it's like the shape of the moon, crescent, right? So it's called neural crest cell. So what will happen is these neural crest cells, they will fuse together. So they become, it's like this neural crest cells, so they become like this, they fuse together. So when they fuse together, okay, that one is we keep apart. So the neural tube is from the neural groove, which is underneath the endoderm. Okay, so this is the picture. Here is dorsal view from the upper view. Cranial means up. Caudal means down. So this is cranial. Behind here is caudal. So here this diagram here, this one is called posterior neuropod. So this posterior neuropod is this thing, right? It induces the cell synthesis. This thing here, right, is the enteral neuropod. Enteral up, posterior down, enteral neuropod and posterior neuropod. So what will happen when people, pregnant people, right? So when they, how to say, they will take folic acid. Folic acid is like, we have vitamin, protein, carbohydrate. One of it, another thing other than that is called folic acid. It's a type of thing which is required by pregnant women. What's the importance of this folate is it helps in the cell synthesis and DNA. So it helps to make new cell. Cell, we have learned about cell, right? So it will help to make new cell. And this cell will make new cell, then this up here can just now never close, right? So after it make new cell, it will close up and down. If let's say now one day never close, what will happen? So if never close means you'll get lot of disease like brain disease, like you'll be very sick like that lah. Like you cannot do anything. Brain never function means you cannot think, right? You cannot walk, you cannot do anything. So you'll suffer from complications like that. So like approximately around day 24, it will close completely lah. Okay. So this is the neural tube here. Okay. Now we can see how this thing gonna form your brain, your spinal cord, and the nerve in your eye, nerve in your neck, nerve on your kidney. Okay. Okay. So we'll see the first one, the cranial. I told cranial is good. Cranial is up. So up here, right? Cranial will form. Okay. This process, the cranial and caudal. Okay. This tube up here will become your brain, from your brain until your spinal cord. So this cranial, it will form into brain from how, the first step, it will become the prosencephalon. Then the next part is called mesencephalon. Mesencephalon will form your midbrain, the middle brain, because brain got different parts. Okay, I tell you one by one. Then the third one will be rhombocephalon, which will continue to the spinal cord. The spinal cord at the back. This one you can feel, right? Somewhere that's your spinal cord. So this is known as the primary vesicles lah. Then later this prosencephalon will divide into two to become the telencephalon, which becomes the cerebrum. Cerebrum is a part of the brain. Brain got three parts: cerebrum, medulla oblongata, midbrain, got a lot. So this one will become cerebrum. Cerebrum is the up one. Then after that, after telencephalon, the diencephalon will come, which is the thalamus. You got the hypothalamus. It's also part of the brain. Then will become mesocephalon, which is the midbrain. Then this rhombocephalon from here will divide to become the mesencephalon, which becomes the cerebellum. Cerebrum is different, cerebellum is different. One is responsible for voluntary action, other one is for involuntary action. Okay, then after that, this myelencephalon will form the medulla. Medulla oblongata, it's actually somewhere here lah, that medulla. Then the small, this tail part will become your spinal cord, the long one. Okay, then it will divide more. It will become like this, like more complex. Cerebrum, where your lobes, it's called frontal and temporal lobes. The frontal and temporal lobes is here. Then this part is called the hypothalamus. Then the mesencephalon will become your midbrain. Then the pons here will become the pons, and your medulla oblongata is the cerebellum here. It's responsible for involuntary action. Then the last one is spinal cord, the down one. Okay. Then we see this is for cranial. Then this middle one here will undergo neural crest-cell differentiation. The crest-cell just now? The crest-cell, they fuse together already. Now they will become neural crest-cell differentiation. So what they will do, they will go to all parts of the body to become nerve cells. First, they will go to the skin here. So on the epidermis got melanocytes. This melanocytes is responsible for pigmentation of skin. Okay, what is pigmentation of skin is like to melanin. That's melanin, that melanin is responsible for the color. You want to be fair or you want to be dark. So this melanocytes is responsible for pigmentation. Then the cell will go down to your kidneys. The kidneys, there's this thing above the kidney, which is the part of the adrenal glands, which secretes norepinephrine and epinephrine. Let's say you saw a dog chasing you, then you get nervous, then you run, you don't know what to do, you think, right? So that thing is responsible for fight and flight mode, we say that. Then the next one, the nerves around your stomach, the enteric nerves, which is responsible for submucosal plexus and microtrachea plexus. Then it will go to your spinal cord, the base there. it forms the dorsal root ganglion, chain ganglion and collateral ganglion. Then goes to the brain, arachnoid, pyometer, leptomeninges. Then it forms your head and neck nerves, which is called the 5 cranial nerve, 7 facial nerve and 9 10. This is all the pharyngeal arches. Okay, okay. Then now we found the nerves already. Now got the last part. You know, I said cranial, then the last one is caudal, right? Caudal is down, right? Okay, so we divide this tube. We divide this tube to form like this. Okay, this one will form the spinal cord. You know the spinal cord, let's say you touch something already, you touch something hot, you quickly take your hand, right? You don't think, right? So that one, the information doesn't go to your brain, it goes to the spinal cord. Okay, so it has 3 layers when you see. The first up layer is marginal zone, the middle layer is mental zone, the third layer is neuroepithelial zone. Okay, so in the middle there, the cell will poriflate. I said poriflate means make new cells, right? It poriflates and it extends outwards. So it make, then it goes outwards like that. To the from the neuroepithelial zone, it goes to the neuroblast, then the marginal zone. At the marginal zone, your neurons will form. Neurons is nerve cell. You know the nerve cell, like red blood cell, like that. Then after that, you see here, this is the this one's position lah. Here's the dorsal and ventral. Then from the middle, the 3 layers will form into the ala plate, like butterfly, like that. You know, up there is called ala plate, and the down one is called the basal plate. Then after that, they differentiate more, and you see like more complex already. Nice, right? Okay, so they become 2 regions. Here is still the middle one. Then here the up one is the posterior grey. Down one is called ventral. Posterior ventral. Okay, posterior ventral. So up here is the sensory neurons. Okay, you know what is sensory neurons? Sensory neurons, you know, touch.
Yeah.
Touch all is called sensory neurons. Your ear, your eyes is called sensory neurons. Motor neurons is, you know, you move your hand, that is called motor. So you move anything, that means motor neurons. Your leg you move is motor neurons, like that. So this middle thing here, right, is called the spinal canal. Inside the spinal canal, that's called something called cerebrospinal fluid. Okay, that's all. Do you understand what I teach?
Yes, but I can't remember the name.
It's hard, right?
Yeah.
It's okay, you'll get through it. I think now only you're for at least you understood. What you actually understood, I told you about. Do you remember what is cranial, caudal? Something new, right? Interesting, right? So you want to study biology in future?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. That's all from us.